Imagine unlocking a massive warehouse after the worst flood the city has seen in decades. The metal door screams as it opens. The air is heavy. You can still smell mud, dirty water, and something else, something expensive that almost died. Water lines are frozen halfway up the walls like scars. Everything is silent, forgotten. And then, under a soaked, collapsing cover, you see the shape. Long hood, sharp headlights, a badge that once cost more than most people's houses. Insurance declared it dead, paperwork closed, money paid, case finished. But what if this isn't the end? What if this is the moment a legend starts breathing again? Welcome back to Adil Ramzan, where impossible rebuilds turn into real resurrections. If you love watching machines come back from the edge of destruction, hit like right now and subscribe before we go any further. These full restorations take insane time, patience, and money, and your support keeps these stories alive every single week. Trust me, today's rebuilds are going to test everything. Let's walk closer to that flood-damaged luxury car from 10 feet away. It still looks proud. The paint reflects light just enough to fool someone who doesn't know better. But the truth always hides inside. The door creaks open and reality hits instantly. The smell is strong, not just water rot. The carpets are stained dark. The leather seats feel stiff and swollen. The dashboard lights don't even blink. Modern luxury cars are basically rolling computers. One deep flood and thousands of tiny electronic parts silently fail at once. This car was labeled a total loss within minutes of inspection. Too risky, too complicated, too expensive. The real work starts with honesty. No pretending, no shortcuts. Everything comes out. Seats removed, center console stripped, carpet peeled back layer by layer. Underneath, thick dried mud hides in places no one ever sees. Inside the air vents, under the wiring channels, behind insulation panels, every connector is unplugged and inspected. Some crumble in our hands. Corrosion has already started its slow attack. The engine bay looks clean at first glance, but once bolts are loosened, rust shows around edges. The transmission fluid tells a painful story. Milky color, water contamination. That means internal parts could be damaged. Most people would walk away at this point. And honestly, that's why insurance companies do. But rebuilding is about patience. Each electronic module is removed, opened, cleaned carefully, and dried in controlled conditions. Some units respond. Others are completely silent. Replacements are sourced one by one. Thousands of dollars in parts before the car even thinks about starting. The interior goes through deep resto. Ration. Leather is cleaned, conditioned, repaired. Some panels are replaced entirely. Wiring. Harnesses are rebuilt section by section. Hours turn into days. Days into weeks. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Battery connected. Systems checked. One deep breath. The start button is pressed. For a second, nothing happens. Then the dashboard lights flicker. The engine turns once, twice, and suddenly it fires up. Smooth, stable, alive. That sound feels like winning a battle against nature itself. The car that was written off is idling calmly like it never drowned. That's not just repair. That's resurrection. But we're not done. Now imagine standing in front of a wrecked supercar that looks like it lost a fight. With a wall at full speed, the front end is crushed. Carbon fiber panels shattered like glass. Airbags exploded. Suspension twisted. The chassis looks slightly bent. Insurance took one look and stamped it. Right off. End of story. These cars are built with extreme precision. Even a few millimeters of misalignment can make them unsafe at high speeds. The rebuild begins by stripping everything down to the bare structure. Every damaged panel is removed. The frame is measured digitally down to the smallest detail. Adjustments are slow and careful. Carbon fiber components are either repaired by specialists or replaced entirely. That alone costs more than most cars. The engine is inspected thoroughly. No visible cracks, no hidden leaks. That's a small miracle. Suspension parts are rebuilt. Brake systems replaced. Cooling lines checked. Wiring inspected for impact damage. Weeks pass and progress feels painfully slow. But slowly, the shape returns. Panels begin to fit perfectly again. Gaps are even. The body is prepared for paint. When fresh paint finally goes on, it feels like watching a phoenix rise. The color shines under the lights. You would never guess this car was once crushed and abandoned. The interior is rebuilt next. New airbags, restored trim, every detail brought back to factory condition. And then comes the first drive. The engine roars with confidence. Acceleration is smooth and powerful. Steering feels precise. No warning lights, no strange noises, just pure performance. The car that was once declared too expensive to fix is now flying down the road like it was never broken. And then there's the junkyard story. The silhouette sitting quietly among scrap metal. A Rolls-Royce and a Bentley. Dust covers their iconic grillies. Tires flat, chrome dull. People walk past them every day without even slowing down. To most eyes, they're just old luxury cars. To the right eyes, they're sleeping legends. Bringing a Rolls-Royce back is not about speed. It's about respect. These cars were built with craftsmanship, not shortcuts. The engine is inspected carefully, surprisingly solid, just neglected, fluids changed, seals replaced, suspension restored so it can deliver that famous floating ride again. The interior takes patience. Real wood trim is refinished by hand. Leather is restored or replaced with the same level of detail it had when new. It's not rushed. It's careful. The Bentley gets the same treatment. Engine tuned, exhaust refined, interior deep cleaned and repaired. Slowly, both cars transform. Dust disappears. Chrome shines again. The Rolls-Royce glides silently on the road, smooth and graceful like nothing ever happened. The Bentley follows with power and presence. From forgotten scrap to moving masterpieces. This is why rebuild stories matter. Not everything broken is useless. Sometimes the world gives up too quickly. On Adil Ramzan, these cars are more than metal and bolts. They're proof that patience and skill can reverse what looks permanent. And now I want to hear from you. Which resurrection shocked you the most? The flood-damaged luxury car that came back from drowning? The wrecked supercar that insurance walked away from? Or the junkyard Rolls-Royce and Bentley that everyone ignored? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them. I reply. Your opinion shapes the next rebuild we take on. If this story kept you watching, share it with someone who loves cars, restoration, or just powerful comeback stories. Hit like if you believe nothing legendary should be left to die. And subscribe to Adil Ramzan because the next resurrection might be even crazier than this one. Some cars are abandoned. Some are written off. Some are forgotten in silence. But as long as there are hands willing to rebuild and hearts that refuse to quit, no legend ever truly dies.